This YCN segment is brought to you by Lake Sunapee Visiting Nurse Association and Hospice.
Welcome back, YCN Sports Talk. Jeremy Stout, Brett Franklin. And as we move over to some football, the weather does not feel like fall and does not feel like football weather. Watching games when it's 90 degrees out. But the Patriots, don't want to say rolling, but Tom Brady's rolling. I mean, at this point, we know he's the best player, no question about that. But he's the only player really playing to his potential. Maybe Gronk's played well, but Brady, willing that team to victory Sunday. They had nothing else besides him.
Yeah, you look at Tom Brady's performance, 5 touchdown passes, another, usual scene, come from behind victory. We talked about this on the radio earlier this week on ESPN Radio for the Upper Valley. I think we got to give a little credit to Houston. They have played the Patriots tough the last few meetings. Obviously, Bill O'Brien, Houston head coach, has a little bit of familiarity with Tom Brady. He was his offensive coordinator for quite some time. But there are questions with this Patriots team. The offensive line has looked shaky. The secondary, I thought Malcolm Butler played well on Sunday.
Much better.
But the secondary as a whole, I thought, still had a little bit of holes to work through. And, what are we getting from the running game, which was non-existent? Again, give credit to the Houston defense, but you like to see that balance. Listen, Patriots 2-1. Deshaun Watson played a great game. I think he's the future quarterback for Houston. I think we just got to give the Texans credit. They had that game in their hands. Right. I thought there were some coaching decisions that kind of costed them in the end, but let's just give credit to Houston. They played a good game. Patriots come out on top. Brandon Cooks finally showed up and did some damage for this Patriots team. So it's going to take some time, but I'd rather have these issues early than later in the season.
Right, and so Cooks, a good game. Gronk, a big game, really. There was questions how much he would play, how much the groin injury would affect his performance, and he played pretty nicely. He had 8 catches, he had a touchdown.
10 targets.
It looks like he's getting involved. He's going to be okay going forward, and they're going to need him if they want to go forward and keep going.
Yeah, I don't know if I had any fellow fantasy owners out there kind of questioning on Sunday, do I even bother playing Gronk? Is he even going to be a game time? And thankfully I did, and it didn't help me either way, of course. Gronk getting the 10. They need to be utilizing him a little bit more. Didn't really see much of him in New Orleans at all. So use number 87 to your advantage there, but Brandon Cooks being able to get some catches was obviously good. I think I think the Patriots, they miss Rex Burkhead. I know he wasn't at practice again today, and it seems like Brady and him have kind of gotten a little bit of a rapport. I think if they get him back, he could be a nice complementary piece to this team. And
you talked about the secondary, obviously having some issues, Butler playing well, but Cyrus Jones struggling. Overall, is this something to worry about? Where are we on the meter of, hey, let's not worry about it at all, it's only week 3, and hey, let's jump ship? There's got to be a little bit of concern.
Yeah, maybe that was just our own false expectations.
Okay,
we built this team up during the preseason. This was before all the significant injuries have happened. They have a lot of guys injured. There's got a lot of guys on IR as well. So I think if you could tread water, you get Malcolm Mitchell back. Valentine is also on. He's eligible to return week 12. You just got to stay the course. The AFC East is very weak. Just got to be healthy for the playoffs is really what it comes down to.
Right, and not to say they're lucky that they play in the AFC East, but it definitely helps them because the AFC East clearly, I would think, the weakest division in football, and they have some tough out-of-conference opponents. Obviously, the Saints on the road could have been a challenge, wasn't quite terribly bad. This coming week against the Panthers, another mobile quarterback. Is that something that the Patriots struggle with, or is it just the fact that Houston's defense, or could this Cam Newton thing come up in the Panthers?
Well, you face Cam Newton this week, and then you've got Jameis Winston the following week, so you've basically played, including Deshaun Watson, you played 3 guys that are mobile quarterbacks and could do some damage. And we saw Watson do that, where he got out of the pocket, he was able to create some time, and that got guys open. I think now that they have that in their belt, I'm not really worried about Carolina. I do love Cam Newton. I think he's a great quarterback, but they don't really have any weapons at all. Tampa Bay is going to be the big one. I believe they're in Tampa Bay.
It's on the road on a Thursday night.
Thursday night, short week. That's going to be a real test because I do think the Bucs are for real. But let's see what happens this week with the Panthers. I think they'll find a way to contain Cam Newton. But they got to protect number 12, Tom Brady. That's the biggest thing.
Well, that's the biggest thing. Obviously, their defense struggles. Their secondary right now, their defensive line not putting a lot of pressure on them on the offense. But that offensive line is big because you're protecting the best player in football. You got a lot of pressure on you.
Yeah, and Nate Solder has not looked good these first 3 games of the season. Dante Scarnecchia is one of the best coaches, offensive line coaches in the league. he'll figure it out. But they need some guys to get back. Marcus Cannon needs to come back healthy. I know they finally got Shaq Mason back, so let's see if they tinker with that a little bit here moving forward.
All right, so we'll get to our picks in the final segment. We'll be picking the Patriots-Panthers game in the Salt Hill Pub. Picks of the week. We'll take a break. When we come back, we will get to some more NFL, kind of go around the league and see what Brett's thinking in the first quarter of the season coming to a close. You're watching YCN Sports Talk.